I'm doing a little bit of experimentation today. These are the headlamp bezels. These are, I think, OER brand. They're brand new headlamp bezels that I'm going to run on my car. The reason I'm deciding to use aftermarket bezels is because these bezels seem to fit the profile of the fender better than the original OEM bezels. I've got my OEM bezels over here, and all of the trim on my car is going to be blacked out gloss black. And so I'm going to use these old bezels as kind of a learning tool here today. So they're chrome plated, but if you really begin to look here, let me see if I can zoom in to where you can really tell. You see all the pitting in there? Lots of pitting in the old chrome. And again, just look at all of that mess that's in there. It's really, really nasty looking. And so I'm going to put these things in my blaster. I'm going to sandblast them a good bit more. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip one of them in muriatic acid for, I don't know, a short time to try and see if I can maybe clean all of the old plating off of it. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. The other one I'm just going to leave sandblasted. After I clean the powder coating, the original plating off of this one right here with muriatic acid, I'm going to blast it again. I'm going to powder coat them both. And you can see they both are really, they're in pretty bad shape. If I zoom in, you see all the pitting in there. I mean, it's kind of hard to show on camera, but I mean, you can see what I mean. The surface is just not smooth and nice at all. So I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment this morning and just see if we can make these things look nice and brand new and gloss black, powder coated, and if the muriatic acid is actually our friend or not. If I ultimately lose these things in the name of research, it is what it is. Okay, I have blasted them down with a mixture of crushed glass and 10X. I think the one that I'm going to dip in the muriatic acid is this one here. And I say that just because look at how bad it is. Frankly, it's the worst of the two with the biggest room for improvement. So I'm going to dip that one in muriatic acid, and we're going to see how it looks right now. Okay, I got 5 gallons of muriatic acid here. If you choose to give this a shot like I'm doing in this little experimentation here today, be pretty careful with this stuff. It will dissolve concrete, so I have no idea what it would do to your skin, but I'm not looking to find out. So let's drop this bezel in there and see what happens. Immediately it starts bubbling like crazy. You see all that bubbling? Lots and lots of bubbling. I should probably be wearing something for fumes here, but I'm an idiot. I was born in the 80s and, grew up riding bicycles without helmets and that kind of shit, so, Let's have a look at it here again. How's it doing? I think one of my biggest dangers that I need to be careful of here is not dropping it back in there and causing a splash. So I tell you what, while it's doing that, I'm gonna put this on as well as my welding jacket that I probably should have done before. Have a look at how the plating is being eaten off from right there. You see that? I'm gonna put it in there a little longer. And I don't have any doubt that if I just left this thing in there long enough, it would probably just completely dissolve it away. I'm going to stop there before I go any further and go ahead and rinse this thing with water and blast it. See if maybe the rest of that plating doesn't come off. We'll see what we got. I don't know what to expect. So this is really interesting to me. I just took it out of the muriatic acid. You can kind of see what it did to all of the plating on there. Particularly, you can see right here. Look how it just folded it right back over and started to bring it loose of the substrate metal. So I'm curious now to put it into the blaster and see what it looks like next. Well, folks, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've come to the conclusion that this was a bad idea and it doesn't work. Look, I could see myself through my bezel. Yeah, so it just ate holes all through it. As soon as I started sandblasting it, it became obvious what I had done. So, yeah, can't do that. I'm gonna go ahead and powder coat that other bezel there anyways. I wanted to do this process so that I would learn, you know, what was the best way to do it, so that when it was time to go do the bezels on the car that I'm actually going to run, that I would have learned stuff, you know, the hard way or the easy way, you know, however you want to look at it, on these old bezels here. So that one is still good, and I think I'm going to powder coat it now. You know what's really disappointing about all of this is it removed all of the plating right around the outside of the bezel just absolutely beautifully, to where I was able to sandblast that surface and get just a perfect surface to powder coat. So I really don't have much of an understanding for why it works so beautifully here, and then of course just completely removed the metal in other places. I have no idea, but you know, if it had done it, you know, all along this surface here and here, everywhere else, I would have considered this an enormous success. All right, I've had the bezel inside my oven for about a half an hour or so, and I'm just preheating the part. I'm going to pull it out now and shoot some powder onto it while it's hot. This is called hot flocking. All right, let's shoot a little powder on here. I find that kind of shaking my Eastwood gun seems to help the powder flow a decent bit. I'm not trying to spray it out, you know, under pressure. I want it nice and just a slow fog. And I can already see the powder's having some trouble sticking in some places, thanks to the Faraday cage effect. So I'll surely end up doing like a second coat on it, no doubt. All right, she's been in there 10 minutes. I'm gonna open it up and put a second coat on it. Shoot us a second coat on there after I pulled it out of the oven. Really just trying to make sure that all the little nooks and crannies really get perfectly covered, and that you know, any little divots in the metal, maybe we try and fill them in with a little bit extra powder. You know, again, I'm not a professional powder coater. I don't really know what I'm doing. I just kind of do my best and figure it out as I go. All right, folks, there you go. That is my finished 67 Nova bezel right there. Came out pretty nice. You can see, if I kind of get the light to come across it just right, all of the pitting in the original casting there. You know, it's got quite a bit of imperfection in the original one, so I don't think I'm going to have that when I powder coat my aftermarket ones that are on the car. But I mean, all in all, not bad. I will say that I notice, if you look like right up in here, I don't know if I could show that on camera or not. It's really difficult to get to, but it didn't really cover the powder right up in that tiny little gap quite as well as you would like, so it's not quite as glossy right in there as it should be, but frankly I don't think anybody would notice anyway. I do believe when I go to do the ones on the car, instead of hanging them from this hole here and this hole here, which kind of leaves these little bitty marks, again hard to see where the wire was hanging from it, you know, I think probably what I'll do is just drill one tiny little hole right there and then just hang it from that, because you know, the headlamp when it's in the car completely blocks that out, and if there was one tiny hole right there, you would never ever know it. So you're not going to end up with one of those situations where your hanging wire causes a little bare spot on your part. Overall, pretty good. Definitely learned what not to do. So there you go. You know, I always say in my videos, learn with me, not from me. Today is an excellent example. So there you go. I think we all know at this point that USDA grade A assholes on the internet are pretty much a dime a dozen. And I gotta be honest, I really love these people. You know, they'll come up to you at a car show and be like, oh, okay, and they'll just keep their negative thoughts to themselves. But when you make a video and you put it on the internet, of course, I absolutely know in advance they're going to comment down below and be like, oh, you didn't know that muriatic acid would destroy that part? Oh, you stupid son of a bitch. So I just want to say in advance, if that's what you're about to comment, that's why nobody likes you. Like, subscribe, and all that good crap if you want to make sure that you don't miss my other content and shenanigans here in the shop. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope you learned something from my ridiculous experiment today. Thank you. You guys take care and be good.